All right, I appreciate your time. And can I get your name?
Shamara Arki.
Okay, Smart. And you got your master's?
I got my undergraduate degree from Xavier University in Cincinnati, Ohio. I got my master's from American Intercontinental University, and I'm currently working on my Doctor of Education in the College of Professional Studies at Northeastern University in Boston.
Okay, great. So we got us an educated sister then. All right. Now, elaborate on this post-traumatic slave syndrome. Exactly, if you were, tell me what it is.
Okay. So, post-traumatic slave syndrome is a theory that I found out about through Dr. Joy Degree. She has a book entitled Post-traumatic slave syndrome, and it's based in the thought around post-traumatic stress syndrome. How when there's a traumatic event, a person is reminded of that. There are triggers that come up, and without some intentional environmental and personal changes to manage those triggers, it continues to get worse. And we've seen that around post-traumatic stress syndrome, particularly with veterans, and we've seen it more within the past 20 years based on the wars that we've had in the Middle East.
Okay, so
right?
would you say that the majority, I can't say the majority, but would you say a lot of black people are suffering from post-traumatic slave syndrome?
I would say all black people are suffering from post-traumatic slave syndrome. I would say all white people are suffering from post-traumatic slave syndrome. Yes, we suffer in very different ways, but we are still suffering from the effects of American slavery.
Okay, now, when we deal with the post-traumatic slave syndrome, tie that into the brutality by the police. Make that connection with, the shootings that we've seen, the one that's the most recent. How does all that play a part?
Okay, so, and this is just, this is my thoughts around
Right.
her reading and the experience of
Right.
living in 2015. My thoughts are that police officers are suffering from post-traumatic slave syndrome, right? But they have this thing and this phenomenon, and it's called whiteness, right? And so whiteness is a culture. Like, we talk about ethnic culture, but we have to think of culture as a group of people who are invested in a certain traditions and customs, and they use a language and they have food. And so culture can be outside of ethnic culture. So when we talk about the police culture, and we've heard it before, like the blue culture, I don't bleed red, I bleed blue, right? That culture gives them a sense of empowerment and entitlement to say that if I don't like you, I can use my power in my blue culture to dehumanize you.
Okay.
And so that has been going on for years, and now it's killing you.
Okay.
And part of it is because these police officers, they are in this culture of whiteness, that this is normal, that it's okay for them to have this power. It's okay for them to use their power for bad and not good. And it's okay because when you look back for the last 500 years, it's what their P's have been doing.
Right. Okay.
It's what white people have been doing in America for years. So maybe it doesn't look like a police cruiser and an officer with a badge, but the actions are the same. It's just dressed up very different because this is 2015 and we live in a very sophisticated society.
Okay, now let me ask you two more questions because I know you're ready to get out of here. The black church, do you think that it helps to cure this post-traumatic slave syndrome, or do you think it enhances it? I mean, what the theology that comes out of the black church, do you think black pastors are assisting, or do you think they are enablers?
Well, let's look at the black church as we would any other social institution, because when we look at religion, it's a social identifier. It's just like race, it's just like class, it's just like gender. Society made up religion. You have spiritual groups, and they've always been spiritual, and that's a part of their culture. But when we look at organized religion, that's a social construct. So when we look at the black church, which is a subset of that social construct, when we look at Christianity, the way that it's practiced predominantly in America by black people, it's a derivative of that same Bible that the slave master gave to the slave to make him docile.
Wow. I've never heard
It
a
hurts.
sister say this.
But it's true. It's the same book. It's the same version. It's still the
Right.
King James. It's the same version of the same book. So it ain't even like it's a new updated version. It's the same version of the same book.
Wow.
So I'm gonna leave that right there, and I'm gonna let you unpack the rest of that article.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Don't get me wrong. My daddy was a preacher. Okay.
Okay.
So, hey,
So, all right. Last question. So, what political affiliation do you have, or do you even deal with Democrat, Republican? What do you think they're one and the same? If you had to pick which party you think would actually help black people, which one would you say it is?
again, I think we're stopping too short at the parties. We have to look at the entire system. The system is not designed for us to succeed. The system is not designed for us to have voting rights. The system is not designed for us to be empowered and take back our communities. That's not why the system was designed. So I can't look to a party of the system to say, are you going to help me in this? No, I can't look to them for that. I
Okay.
can't do that because it's not about the party. It's about the system.
Okay, so you don't practice, so you're not a Barack Obama supporter then?
I love Barack Obama. He is a G. And he is an example of black love and all that.
Okay. All
Like,
right.
so I'm looking at Barack Obama not as the president. I mean, that's one hat that he wears, right?
Right.
But he's a G in his own right.
Okay.
The presidency has escalated his G-ness, right?
Right.
But when we look at him as black like me and you, him being president doesn't matter.
Okay.
He's still a black man in America,
Okay.
no matter what title he has.
Okay. Well, sister, I appreciate you taking your time to holler at me and answer a few of my questions. And like I said, I've never, and I've talked to a lot of, sisters. I get in a lot of debates with them. And what you said about that Bible, I mean, I imagine you are the outcast of your family if most of them are Christians, like most of us. Because I already know what it is. You ain't got to tell me. I already know with that kind of thinking on that Bible, I know where you at when it comes around those Thanksgiving discussions or Christmas discussions. But I appreciate your time, though.
Thank you for having me.
All right.